Hi! Welcome to this part of my review featuring the Bloodlines and Black Magic core rulebook. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review featuring this modern occult adventures role-playing game powered by the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition system, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to take a look at the Occultist character class. This is a very in-depth class. The Occultist is a master of hidden lore who uses their wit, charms, and extensive library of knowledge to uncover, unlock, and exploit weaknesses in a wide variety of creatures in the invisible world. Students of the strange Occultists spend most of their time deep in research, looking at ancient knowledge and seeking rituals, ceremonies, and spells of all kinds. Occultists are likewise capable and adaptable spellcasters who use their growing libraries to perform greater and greater feats of magic. Equally happy delving mysterious lairs as they would be poring through forgotten tomes, occultists are constantly seeking greater and greater mysteries, both within themselves and deep in the invisible world. This draws them to delve deeper, eventually learning to channel magic from the invisible world directly into the mundane. These special individuals spend their days seeking out mysteries and secrets, memorizing rituals and ceremonies of all kinds in their pursuit of power. When it comes to hit points, occultists are somewhat decent. They do pretty well in the intelligence and charisma department. In fact, their saving throws are intelligence and charisma. When it comes to armor and weapons, they begin play proficient with simple weapons but not armor. They also begin with proficiency in one firearm of their choice. When it comes to skills, you have things such as computers, lore, medicine, psychic, technology, occult of course. You also have proficiency in ritual tools. Let's talk about some of the features of the class. You have Arcana Adept. At first level, you gain the ability to manipulate the Arcana in a meaningful way. You may, as a move on your turn that does not provoke an attack of opportunity, force the Game Master to draw a second card from the Arcana, immediately applying any and all applicable benefits to the party when doing so, as long as both cards provide benefits, of course. There's also Occult Knowledge. You internalize the wide web of weird you have accumulated into a single domain of occult lore. You may make occult skill checks to read, decipher, copy, and understand occult and magical writing from around the world. Choose a single piece of lore with which you are familiar. You double your class skill bonus when examining related magical texts or occult lore. There's also spellcasting. The world is filled with spells and rituals that do not work. You have discovered the ones that do. Starting at first level, you learn the basics of magic, allowing you to cast spells as well as to perform rituals and ceremonies of all kinds. Your understanding of magic allows you to channel and shape magic into meaningful patterns called spells. Your eclectic approach to the universe helps you learn spells from anywhere you choose. As an occultist, you possess a spellbook, a collection of ceremonies, rituals, spells, and all the information associated with them. Your spellbook is deeply personal, as it represents your connection to the invisible world, one which you have spent your life exploring, writing, defining, and rewriting. Except for a few tricks which you have permanently committed to memory, access to your spells requires you to be in possession of your spellbook, of course. If you lose your spellbook, you lose your connection to your occult spells. You are always considered to be attuned to your spellbook, although this attunement does not cost you a slot. Additionally, some occultists may choose to align or bond themselves to their spellbooks. If you do so, you are required to spend attunement slots as per the rules for attunement. Unless a background feat or some other option alters it, you begin play with a 300-page blank spellbook that weighs 3 pounds. So you can carry out all sorts of things, such as ceremonies, rituals, tricks. Let's talk about tricks. The first thing an occultist learns to master are the minor, magical energies that let them manipulate objects and matter in the mundane world. You have tricks such as Amy's trick. The occultist Amy Remington created this trick in Chicago in 1872. When you learn the light cantrip, when you activate this trick, you gain the benefits of this cantrip as well as resistance to fire. There is also Casanada's trick, discovered and deciphered by the occultist Juan Casanada in Dublin, Ireland in 1866. This trick lets an occultist create a magical weapon. There's also Neuberger's trick, created by the illusionist S. Neuberger in 1901. This trick made Neuberger famous. When you learn this trick, you learn the cantrip Minor Illusion. When you activate this trick, you gain the benefits of that cantrip. There's also Winter's trick, accredited to author and occultist Nima Masters in 1811. This trick chills nearby foes. You learn the Ray of Frost cantrip. When you activate this trick, you gain the benefits of that cantrip. There's also the feature of Occult Order. When you reach 3rd level, you may join an occult order, mystery school, cult, fraternity, or similar secret society with which you have aligned. This occult order teaches you additional powers, while providing you with the safety, security, and anonymity you need to fight or serve the powerful beings from the invisible world. Additionally, each occult order gives you access to 2 additional cards from the Arcana. Occultists treat Arcana from their order as their own. If you are using the Bloodlines and Black Magic's lifestyle rules, you are considered to have access to a modest lifestyle. Let's talk about a few of these orders. You have the Apocryphites. This ancient group of hunters specialize in protecting humanity from evil, occult forces that bleed in from the invisible world, polluting and corrupting everything they touch. Focused on understanding the full spectrum of what haunts humanity from the realms beyond, Apocryphites spend years studying the supernatural in hopes of being better prepared when it comes time to fight the monsters that creep in the dark. This will provide you with some bonuses and powers, such as improved Pierce the Veil. At 3rd level, you gain a bonus to any Pierce the Veil rolls you make. You also have Iron Blade. At 7th level, you may touch and transform any mundane object that weighs up to 3 pounds into an iron blade against Abaddon for 1 minute. While transformed, this black cold iron blade deals pretty decent damage of magical slashing to any supernatural creatures it strikes. It crumbles to dust after a minute though. We also have the Cabal. Concerned with gaining as much power in the world as possible, this group of magicians works with anyone and everyone provided they deal fairly. The Cabal watches over its members, ensuring no harm comes to them. When you join this organization, you gain some benefits and powers, such as Dread Speaker. At 3rd level, you gain a bonus to any Charisma Intimidate skill checks you make. This bonus doubles when you reach 7th level. You also have Mind Breaker. At 7th level, you become a terrifying opponent to psychics and occultists in combat. Whenever an opponent attempts to cast a psychic spell or activates a psychic ability within a certain distance of you, you may create a counter charm as a reaction that disrupts them, forcing them to make a difficulty class 21 or more Constitution focus skill check, or they will fail to activate the ability or cast the spell. They do not otherwise lose the power or spell. You must complete a short rest before you can use this ability again. There's also the Lords in Glass's Shadow. This multinational secret society was founded in Australia by cable tycoon Reginald Bales IV. The Lords in Glass's Shadow stand guard against the invisible world, working night and day to hide the truth from the mundane world. You obtain things such as cover story. At 3rd level, you learn to use human behaviors and expectations against them, socially engineering situations and creating a series of believable cover stories. When you activate this ability, you gain advantage on charisma deception checks for a certain time. You must complete a short rest before you can activate this ability again. You also obtain Media Blackout. At 7th level, you bring the full force of your control over reality to bear, creating a media blackout up to a certain distance in miles. While this blackout is in effect, all mundane recording and communications equipment, including smartphones and computers, fail to record or transmit data of any kind. You must complete a long rest before you can use this ability again. There are also many other features to this class, such as the Occult Exploit. When you reach 6th level, you learn to exploit the laws of the cosmos, manipulating the energy that leaks in from the invisible world to power your magic. You can do things such as cheat death. You touch an adjacent creature, allowing it to automatically succeed on its next death saving throw. If you gain the dying condition, you automatically succeed on your first death save. You must complete a short rest before you can activate another occult exploit. And you must complete a long rest before you can use this exploit again. You also have cheat time. You may perform another action on your turn. You must complete a short rest before you can activate another occult exploit, and you must complete a long rest before you can use this exploit again. You also have capstone abilities, such as Goetic Connection. You have used your years of occult work, rituals, and witchcraft to pave a path into the invisible world, forming a bond with a Goetic entity of notable power and skill. This entity serves you, such as granting you the service of a familiar. Each day, when you complete a long rest, you may perform an occult rite aligned to your Goetic spirit that takes a certain number of minutes. When you complete this rite, you gain a bonus to your armor class and your dexterity saving throws that lasts for several hours. You also gain resistance to radiant damage. You also have Occult Librarian. Years of research have left you with a library of knowledge and the skills needed to navigate it. You gain benefits such as whenever you have access to a library, including the internet, you gain advantage on intelligence, computer intelligence lore, and intelligence occult checks to research topics of all kinds. You also learn the spell Illusionary Script as a bonus spell, and intelligence is your spellcasting modifier for it. And you are particularly familiar with libraries, their layouts, and how they function. You gain a bonus to your armor class and intelligence saving throws while in libraries, bookstores, schools, and universities. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to talk about the operative character class. As you can see, there are some character classes in this role-playing game that are pretty complex and in-depth. They are easy to understand because of the good organization and writing of this book, but you certainly have to put some thought on how you are going to use the many resources available to your character. In the case of the Occultist, you are a powerful spellcaster, but you also have a lot of abilities and features that make you extremely useful when it comes to finding out obscure information. You feel a bit like the scholar of an adventuring group. Thank you for watching this part of the review. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending right through RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.